Shouldn't weight loss be easier than this? Doesn't it seem like you've been trying for so long to feel good in your own body, but you just always seem to get back to the same starting point? Well, today we're going to get into what not to do when trying to lose weight that I see happen often, leaving women feel frustrated because of the lack of results. And I may or may not have done some of these myself when I was trying to lose weight. So I want to share this with you so that you can finally lose weight for good and never have to deal with counting calories or fitting in your macros. Because if you learn what not to do, you'll know what to do and you'll drop the weight and keep it off. And if we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Lex Vucro. Nice to meet you. I've been in health and fitness industry for over 20 years now. I've struggled with weight a couple times in my life, and everything I've learned and applied on myself and now helped hundreds of women lose weight and feel great in their bodies, I share on this channel with you. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button and get notified every time a new video comes out. Okay, so the first thing that I see women do often that is a big don't is don't diet or starve yourself. It's the whole eat less, move more BS thing that you've been told. Why not to diet? Well, because diets will make you feel restricted and deprived, and they have a start date and end date. And after the end date, you go back to the same habits that brought you to weight gain in the first place. That's what's destroying your metabolism. That's what keeps you yo-yoing. The next don't is please do not take fat-burning supplements as your shortcut. You got to understand that weight loss industry is a multi-gazillion-dollar industry because they thrive off of you wanting instant gratification and you buying pills that you don't even know what's in them that are guaranteeing you some fat burn. Yes, there are particular things that could aid in the fat burn, but this is not a magic pill. And every time I see these advertisements, they are sold like the magic fix-it-all. Here's the thing, if you take that pill in the hope that it will burn more body fat, but you're still eating the same way, keeping the same habits, you're either gonna have to take that fat burner forever, or if you're taking that fat burner pill and dieting, we already talked about it, that's for a limited time only. And secondly, you don't really know what's in that pill. You don't really know how it's going to affect your metabolism long term. And by the way, a lot of these fat burner pills are speeding up your heart rate. Your heart needs to race higher because that way you're technically burning fat more. But how good is that on your little heart? And would you rather have body fat or heart? I mean, just saying. The next no-no is kind of related to the first one, but it's do not make all the changes at once. I see so many women all in one day going on a diet, starting to work out, using 5 apps, doing all these things at once, and then they can maintain it for like a week or two and then going back to the same old habits. So we're not trying to make all the changes today. It's like you're not going to eat all the meals of your life today. You're going to eat them daily. And if you're fasting, maybe skip some days. But you get my point. Because if you throw in the diet and the workouts, now you're eating the food that tastes like cardboard to you, and you're overstressing your body, and you cannot handle that, and your brain is screaming, telling you, go get that cheesecake. It's just not going to work. The next big no-no, I need a billboard for this one. Do not weigh yourself on the scale. Get off of the scale now. I've had clients who weigh themselves daily, and I have to retrain them to get away from that. The reason why they do that is in the fear of gaining weight. But when you're focused on that weight all the time, you are going to gain it. When you're fearful of gaining the weight, you are going to gain it. When you feel restricted and you start your day off with a bad news that the scale gave you, your day is likely to go down the drain, and you're more likely to eat bad things. Because here's the thing, when we feel bad about our food choices, we activate the reward center in our brain, meaning we have a need to immediately reward ourselves. So you step on the scale, you feel like crap, you're not happy, you go to the kitchen, you say, well, what the heck with it all, and you eat what you should not have eaten. Which, by the way, why is it in your kitchen anyway? So scale also doesn't show you the real number. We're not losing weight here, we are burning fat. Because you don't want to end up being skinny fat anyway. Skinny fat is a term that means you look skinny on the outside, but you maybe have a fatty liver and you're just as unhealthy on the inside. We're not going just for vanity here, although I know that that's important. It's important to look at your body and feel great about it, right? But it's more important how you feel overall. Here's a question I always ask my clients, and if you've been following me for a while, you probably heard it. If your weight never changed, if nothing changed on the scale, but you ended up feeling confident and great and feeling like everything fits you so good, and you walk into that world and you feel like the world is yours, would the weight matter? No. So bottom line is, we're here to feel great, and we're here to focus on health, because when you focus on health, the weight drops. So get off of the scale. It doesn't mean you don't want to measure your progress, but there are other ways of measuring. The scale lies. As a female, during certain times of your cycle, you could be holding on to 5 to 10 pounds of water. That's just water weight. Take some dandelion tea, eat some parsley. Those are natural diuretics, and that water will flush out. Also, when we eat salty foods, we retain more water. So if the night before you ate a dinner out at a restaurant that was full of sodium, now you step on the scale, you're like, how did I gain 4 pounds in a day? You did not. It's water weight. Throw that scale away. The only reason you ever want to have a scale in your house is to weigh how much your suitcases weigh before your flight. And don't ask me why I have a suitcase right next to me. We travel a lot, okay? Now a question for you. How often do you step on the scale when you're trying to lose weight? Leave me a comment below. Let me know. I want to hear from you. Because if you are, we need to talk. The next don't is not very talked about, but it is so crucial. Don't disregard what your body is communicating to you. Your body is telling you things all the time. Oh, you ate beans and rice. That didn't really sit well with us. The body is communicating with you all the time. You just got to learn to read the signs. If you're bloated, if you're aching, if your joints are hurting, take a note of what you ate in the last 24 to 48 hours and start seeing patterns. So what I'm saying is your body has ways of telling you things all the time. When I eat gluten, I have this pain in my left neck/shoulder trap area. It's like, where is that coming from? But I started to notice that it happens every time I eat out and every time I eat gluten. You may have foggy thinking. You may feel more emotional. There are many different ways your body's communicating, and I get it. It's not easy to just say, hey, here's a booklet. This is what your body's telling you. But the more you get to know your body, the less you're going to need the calories and diets and anything else, because you're going to know exactly what works for your body and what doesn't. And when you're trying to lose weight, this is also important because you're going to get to connect to how the food that you're eating now makes you feel later. And when you start making that connection more, that's when you really start changing things, because you're going to end up choosing not to eat certain things now because of how it's going to make you feel, rather than eat out of emotions and instant gratification and dopamine right now. The next no-no is don't eat out more than 2 times a week. When you're eating out all the time, that food is 99% of the time made on seed or vegetable oil, which is creating a havoc in your body. It's making your hormones go out of whack. It's making your body inflamed. It's making inflammation higher in your body, and therefore you're unable to lose weight. It's full of sugar and it's full of sodium. And I'm not talking about proper sodium. I'm all for salt, but real sea salt, Celtic or Himalayan salt, not the cheap sodium that they put in foods. And the reason why foods have fats, sugars, and salt is because when that combination hits our taste buds, we get the high, we want more of that, and we cannot stop eating that, especially for food that's got nutrients and fiber and water taken out of it, such as pasta or breads and such. Also, what you need to know about our secondary hunger system is every time we smell food, see food, or talk about food, we have a need to eat more of it. What happens out when you're at the restaurant? You start smelling all these different foods. The menu is showing you all this amazing ribs and things that you may want to eat. It's too tempting. And if you're still here, that means you're getting some value out of this video. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little notification so you get notified every time a new video comes out. The next no-no is, please don't just diet and disregard your mental and emotional well-being. Diet focuses on what you're eating. This is why eat less, move more doesn't work. It doesn't address how you're thinking and how you're feeling. And how you're thinking and feeling is everything. The weight gain or loss is really a big part of how you're thinking and feeling. Because if you eat out of your emotions and then you're not even aware of that, that's where the weight gain comes from. If you start paying attention to how you're feeling, to how you're thinking around food, you're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to learn the patterns, and you're going to be able to slowly change that behavior. I have something I put my clients on. It's called a 7-day mental diet. You can sign up for the next challenge on my website, or you can just do it on your own, because how you're thinking creates your feelings. The way we think goes to the way we feel and then makes us take certain kind of action. The action that goes in the right direction or not in the right direction. And then they start going in that catch-22. And the next no-no refers to pretty much everything the way we live in our lives is please do not count on instant gratification. When you are relying on instant gratification, you are a dopamine addict. Dopamine is the feel-good hormone that's highly addictive. And that's the one we get when we open our social media and see notification. That's the one we get when we've been wanting that cheesecake and finally we take a bite of it and it just feels so good. That means we're just addicted to our dopamine. And what happens is we're wanting that instant gratification that diet culture sells you the idea of. Oh, you're just going to lose weight in a week. Well, you will, on the scale that you shouldn't even be stepping on, as we talked about, because you will lose water weight at first. It takes time to burn body fat, especially if your hormones are out of whack. If you go on a fasting protocol, which by the way, I talk about fasting a lot, and if you do it properly, especially as a woman, according to your cycle, you will be able to burn the fat off very quickly. But if you're just doing it through dieting, you need to know about weight set point. See, your body has a certain weight that it's kind of set on. You don't easily gain or lose weight from that point. So when you diet and you drastically lose weight quickly, the body strives to go back to that weight set point. And it makes you go really quickly because you go crazy on that food. And then you gain a little bit more. And now the weight set point is at a little higher point. And then you diet again, and then continue the cycle over and over again. Also, this kind of connects to what we already talked about, your thoughts and your actions and your feelings, because you need to observe what your learned behaviors are. For example, I grew up in a family where I couldn't get up from the table until I finished everything off my plate. That taught me to never rely on my body telling me, hey, you're satiated, you're done. That made me go to the finish point of finishing everything off the plate, whether I'm still hungry or not. That's a learned behavior. I had to retrain myself to leave food on the plate for later. Okay, the next no-no should pretty much go without saying, but we all do it, and I've done in the past, I gotta admit. Don't do what you used to do that didn't work. Just because it's a different diet, it's the same behavior. And if it's the same behavior, it will lead you to the same outcome. It's not about the type of a diet. Well, rarely it is, I should say. But generally speaking, it's not about the type of the diet. It's about what you're thinking and feeling. It's about that learned behavior. All of the things that we talked about are now starting to connect, aren't they? So you go on a diet, you go to the gym 5 days a week, you do that in January, by February, you're not doing it. Then you do that again in March, right around spring break, you go and you rush to the gym and you're gonna diet, and then by the time March is over, you're like, screw it. Then you're thinking, oh my God, summer's coming, I gotta go on a diet, I gotta work out, and you do that, and then it doesn't happen again. That would be repeating the same action over and over again, expecting different results. And don't we know that that's the definition of madness? Not judging, done it, just saying. And last don't for this video is don't rely on motivation. I hear so many ladies say, I used to feel so motivated. I don't know why I don't feel motivated. I just don't have the motivation. I don't have the willpower. It's not about the motivation. Think of motivation as an emotion. Today you have it. You're feeling excited. You signed up for the gym. You bought the new shoes. You bought the new outfit. You are going to do this amazing diet. You feel motivated. And then you wake up tomorrow and your brain talked you out of it. That's how motivation works. It's an emotion. Okay, so today I shared a lot of big no-nos when it comes to weight loss. Obviously, we need to know about what we need to do, and that's the next video I'm making. So make sure to hit that subscribe button to get notified when it comes out. In the meantime, if you don't know what the 7 biggest mistakes are that women are making when it comes to weight loss, you can watch that video here.